For 5 is brought to you by the
Let's
Alameda
go.
PD, now offering a $75,000 hiring incentive. Our team is your future. Go to alamedapolice.org to apply today. Let's go down to L.A. There's John
JD.
Dickinson, our 95.7 The Game reporter. He's been to all the playoff games tonight. And, Goo, so I'll just bring you up to date on where we left off. Guru is Anthony Davis is concerning him in a big, big way. They don't have anybody. And I said, well, they have Draymond Green. And I get it. Nobody shuts anybody down in the NBA, but if Draymond Green is a phenomenal defender, one of the greatest of all time, well, then Davis has to struggle tonight, right? JD, we got it.
Yeah, you got me?
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
now
we got you now, baby.
Got you.
Okay, well, Draymond Green is the Warriors' shot against Anthony
That's
Davis.
wow.
So it's pass or fail. He's either going to be good enough or he's not, and I think that's kind of the point we're at in this series big picture, it seems like. You know, the Warriors can make adjustments, and we can get into that, and I could tell you what I would do for tonight, and you guys could tell me what you would do for tonight, and we can go back and forth on all of that. But at some point, I mean, it's going to come down to, can Draymond snuff out Anthony Davis the way he did in Game 2 for 2 or 3 more games? Or can the Warriors win a game if Anthony Davis has a big game in this series? Like that's all part of it. Can Klay Thompson play more efficiently than he did in Game 3, where he got off to a pretty good start, and then he was terrible, probably the worst he's been maybe at any point in the playoffs? You know, can the Warriors re-unlock Steph Curry's scoring ability? The whole him dominating as a point guard and taking advantage of the way the Lakers were defending in Game 2 and using it to get others involved, that worked. Well, guess what? If the rest of the Warriors aren't going to be shooting the ball well, then they're going to need more of the dominant scoring threat that Steph Curry is as well. So it comes down to those 3. And again, there are adjustments on the fringes that we can get into, but it always is going to come down to, are Steph, Klay, and Draymond in their own way good enough to lead the Warriors to 3 more wins here in these last, maybe 4 games of this series?
No doubt, Jay. You were in the building Saturday night, and you'll be there tonight. And, I didn't know what to make, what LeBron James was not doing, not taking a field goal attempt in the first quarter. It's never happened in his career. The Warriors are up 11. They're looking faster. They're looking fresher to me. And, JD, it just fell off a cliff. Can I say or ask you, Jay, how surprised you were and how that game turned around and ended up just being a TKO for the Lakers?
Yeah, I was surprised because the Warriors, it felt like the game was an extension of Game 2. Although it's interesting, I thought the first quarter of Game 2 felt like it was an extension of Game 1. The Lakers were playing pretty well in that first quarter, and then things flipped in the second quarter of Game 2 in the Warriors' favor. But no, I thought the Warriors were doing everything they had to do. They withstood the early D'Angelo Russell run where the Lakers got up 11-4. They finished that quarter strong. They were moving the basketball. The defense was solid. The whistle wasn't a problem. Nobody was complaining about the officiating when they were up 40-29. And then the turnovers single-handedly opened the door for the Lakers to get back into the game. And an 11-point lead, I think, was quickly 4 or 5, and then they started fouling, and then there were a couple calls that didn't go their way, and then the turnovers kept coming, and they started missing shots, and it just completely avalanched on them in a bad way to the point where they lost their composure and they lost their focus, and the shots that they had been hitting for the last 5 quarters weren't going in, and then it got real ugly, and the Lakers gained some confidence. Some of their other players playing better at home, and they wind up just putting the Warriors to bed early to where they were essentially punting on the rest of the night going into the fourth quarter the way the Lakers did in Game 2.
John Dickinson joining us on 95.7 The Game. He's our 95.7 The Game reporter. He's in L.A. He'll be there for tonight's game, and then he's coming back for Game 5. Usually I don't think one game means anything to the other, but I just felt like, man, I haven't seen a team lock the Warriors up like that for a couple quarters. It really felt like, and again, it can change all tonight, but man, it looked like the Lakers had a feeling, and they all believe that we can kind of shut this team down if we're all committed.
Yeah, they made the adjustment. Reeves on Curry, Vanderbilt on Draymond, which allowed Vanderbilt to roam around more, mess with the pick and roll, and Vanderbilt to be part of the double, really. So Davis is now still back to be able to play hockey goalie at the back end if there's a drive. So I think he was more impactful in that realm, and they just changed. They basically adjusted to what Warriors did in Game 2 that carved them up. And I think the counter to that, if you're the Warriors, and Marcus Thompson of The Athletic wrote about it, and it was something that I noticed, and I was at the Warriors media availability yesterday at the team hotel, and just the quiet confidence. There is a confidence to this team, whether it was Steve Kerr or Steph. I know the video that went viral with him kind of smiling and nodding, almost winking with regard to the adjustments that he thinks the Warriors make. And to me, it's as simple as, if Austin Reeves is going to be on Steph Curry, then Steph Curry needs to cook him. Like, it needs to be more one-on-one at that point. Take the screener out of the equation, and at that point, just have Curry look to be aggressive and drive. I think it's a way to get more fouls called. I think it's a way to they need closer to the 50-point Steph Curry and 30-plus shot Steph Curry, I think, to try and counter what the Lakers were able to do to them.
You know what, JD? I was thinking about AD before you came on, and I've kind of checked myself, because on the defensive end, it's where it's a deflection, it's a block, it's a hand on a pass in the key from a Warrior player. When we talk about this two big lineup or one big lineup for the Warriors, do they have any antidote to kind of get AD in foul trouble?
I don't know about getting him in foul trouble, but I'll tell you what I would do with the starting lineup. I'd start Jordan Poole, and I'd go smaller. I'd try to spread the Lakers out and run them. And here's the thing. I know Poole's been a maligned player on this show today at times, and every time the Warriors lose, I always have the joke as far as Warriors wrap-up when I'm doing the postgame. And when the Warriors lose, it's basically three things. It's blame Jordan Poole. It's blame Steve Kerr. Saturday we had an additional one. It was blame the officials, which I thought was kind of ridiculous, given the way that the officials weren't a problem until the Warriors started playing like crap. And then all right, maybe there were some calls that were frustrating, but the game was completely on the Warriors allowing things to flip. And then, sure, maybe there were a couple calls that go against him. I know you played the Steve Kerr quote on that. I don't need to reiterate. I agree with him on that note. But, you still trust Jordan Poole, as maligned as he is, more than someone else on the end of the bench. And so that's the way he is. It's like, hey, you got to ride or die with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. You probably got to ride or die with Jordan Poole. And especially if some of the other fringe players are not providing things. And so, to me, he plays better when he starts. It's not even really about that necessarily, although maybe it's an added benefit. But to me, it's more of just get somebody else out there that can stretch the floor and look to drive the lane. If Curry's in attack mode and drawing and kicking, to me, it's a better way to ignite the pace of the game, to make the Lakers have to defend more of the floor. And I also think it's where offense helps the Warriors' defense, because I think they need to put some pressure on the Lakers to be disciplined when the Lakers have the ball. If the Warriors are scoring and flowing a little bit, then let's see if the Lakers can be patient enough to run their offense to where they'll get the foul calls that they've stated they need in an attempt to hang in and win games in this series. If the game is a little faster and more open, I don't know that they can stay as patient. The Warriors got off of their mark and got off of their patience because of what the Lakers did to them. I think the Warriors, in a different way, can do that to the Lakers in making them feel as if they have to keep up with the Warriors by spreading that floor out.
John Dickinson joining us on 95.7 The Game. Let me ask you about Poole. There was the video of him coming off the floor and pushing Draymond aside. I saw Tim Kawakami of The Athletic tweet about Poole went into the locker room or went into the hallway, and Iguodala had to go talk to him for some reason. You see Kuminga's body language isn't great. Are we seeing that disconnect between the old and the young players? And is this thing still salvageable?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's salvageable, but I get it. When the Warriors lose and they don't play well, it looks like they're about to come apart at the seams. There is a vibe game to game, almost as if it's like the Warriors are kind of hanging on by a thread. And I think that's why a lot of these internal issues have kept popping up, even going back to the regular season. They haven't won consistently enough. And I don't want to really talk too much about the punch and all that, although, again, that seems to be the first thing that comes up. It was the biggest thing early. But I think part of the Warriors' bet when they decided not to suspend Draymond Green for that was, hey, this is the only shot we've got to keep Draymond engaged, to try and get the others all on the same page. Jordan Poole will be a pro about it. But I think the Warriors' bet was that they were going to win enough in the regular season to where a lot of the issues would get put to bed, but they haven't won enough. They've been this mid to mediocre to a little bit better than 500 team all year, and even in the playoffs, they've been that team with some high highs and some low lows. So I think you keep coming back to all of these issues. They keep popping up because the only way they truly go away is if you're winning a lot. And so they're just not winning a lot. I don't think the Jordan Poole thing, guys, is really about the punch. I think it's more about his role. I think it's more about the blame. I know you guys were talking about that earlier. Like, I think he just kind of checks out like, yeah, I play well some games, I play poorly in other games, but I get all of the blame all of the time. Like, I think he feels that, and there's a weight attached to that where at times he's like, you know what, this is bunk, man. Like, this is not cool. And Clay stunk, and Curry didn't make shots, and Draymond was terrible, and yet every time we lose, it's Jordan Poole's fault because he did this or that or fell down a couple of times or whatever. Sometimes he is a big part of it, but I could see where maybe he doesn't feel like he gets the leeway or the benefit of the doubt and then takes all the blame, when things are going badly.
JD, before this series starts, Steiny was having some fun, and he said he dubbed this, he probably won't even remember, the D-Lo Revenge Series. But JD, he scored 21 Saturday night, all in the first half, 50% from the field. And I got to be honest, I know it's about the stars. He's averaging 16 points, and Schroeder chipping in with an 11. Are you shocked at kind of the success or impact they've had on the series through 3 games?
I'm not shocked. They're both really good offensive players. They're streaky. They are, and I think, Steiny, you've made this point. Like D'Angelo Russell is kind of unguardable, right? And I've joked he guards himself, right? Like he's either gonna make a bad shot or he's gonna look awful and missing a bad shot. But he's one of those rare players that it almost seems like you could defend him really well and he could still hit a tough shot, but you could not defend him at all. He might go 1 for 8. Like it just and be ugly and just have it be kind of nasty. So I'm not surprised. Again, the Lakers need it. The 2 games where they've gotten scoring from D'Lo and Schroeder, they've won. The games where they didn't and they were inefficient, they didn't win. So I do think those are 2 barometer-type players for the Lakers as they search for, yes, the free throw disparity that they need, but also the others coming along in an efficient manner. And those are, I think, 2 role players you could say that played better at home.
JD, what do you got tonight? Tell the listeners what's going on from LA.
Yeah, Warriors Live at 6 o'clock. So looking forward to that. I'll be over at Crypto.com Arena, and then the Warriors and the Lakers at 7. Big game. Don't think it's a must-win. Right. I could see the Warriors. I could see the Warriors losing tonight and still winning the series. I think it always gets overblown when if you're the team that has home court advantage going into the series, as the Warriors are, you get down 3-1 as long as you're down 3-1 going home for Game 5. You still got action because you can win that one, and then it's really only 1 game on the road still that you've got to win, and then if you win that one, you got Game 7 back at home. So to me, the 3-1 must win is only 3-1 must win if you're 3-1 and then you're going on the road for like if you're down 2-1 and you're home tonight, then it's a must win because you don't want to go down 3-1. You're going back on the road, but that's not the case. That wasn't the case when the Warriors came back in 2016 against OKC. They got down 3-1, but they had 2 of the final 3 at home, and they had to survive that Game 6 that we all know about. And so, I don't think tonight's a must-win, but looking forward to the ball game. Should be great.
Yeah.
And then Warriors wrap up after the game, taking the phone calls, keeping it rolling all the way till midnight with the Warrior fans. Who, I mean, that's the one thing, there's going to be a lot to talk about in this series, regardless of what happens tonight. The yo-yo effect, is it back to they're going to win the title if they win? Is it everybody thinking they're cooked if they lose?
Jay, I know you work hard, baby, but I got to ask you because I told Steiny earlier, did you run into Kim K Saturday night?
No, I didn't. I didn't run into Kim. I missed Kim K. I guess Michael B. Jordan was kind of hanging out in the media room, and I guess I was told that Kim walked through. I guess there's a restroom. Like, this is the funny part.
Goodness.
I guess there's a restroom in the media area that some of the celebrities like to duck off to because it's they don't get bothered as much, right? Because the media are working, and sure, maybe a media member might. Yeah, you're not supposed to ask for a picture or anything like that. If you're
I love what she's doing for prison reform. That's all. That's why I asked that.
No doubt. But I didn't see Kim. But I was told Kim was actually in that same little hallway where Michael B. Jordan was chilling to try and use the restroom.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, man.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Have a good show tonight. We will probably talk to you tomorrow if you're open.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, man.
Absolutely. Let me know.
All right, John Dickinson, 95.7 The Game reporter. He's in L.A. He's there for Game 4.